What's up, boys and girls? How are you? Welcome to the madness. It is day one of the NCAA Tournament, the Daily Juice podcast, of course, right? You know we're going to be rocking this. It's Christmas, 16 games today, 16 games tomorrow. If you want to follow along on my craziness, at Sports Talk Matt, Twitter, Instagram, basically all my socials. Why? I'm going to be bouncing around Las Vegas. I got a live show coming up today. I'm going to be at Resorts World. I'm going to be at a bar lounge called Red Tail. We're going to be hanging. If you're in Vegas, come say hi. You guys came to the show in Kentucky. If you're going to be in Vegas, why not come on by and say hi? I'll buy you a drink. Say, hey, Matt, I'm here from the Daily Juice. Okay, I'll buy you a drink. Come on in. Hang out. I'm going to be there for most of the day, starting pretty early. The Creighton Blue Jays play the first damn game of the tournament. What are you doing to me? This is not fair. The team I like the most might be out after the first game. That stinks. But we went 0-1 yesterday officially. However, I told you I was going to be live betting that game. Live streaming. I'm kind of live streaming. Live betting. I did exactly that in the Discord channel. If you guys are not in the Discord channel, whoa, okay. By now, seriously, what are you doing? Even if it's just for this week, you need to join the Discord channel. Why? I'll tell you what to play. I gave you Xavier plus 6.5. Easy bet. They won the game by 6, let alone taking 6.5. That was easy. In-game wagering is your friend. These games are like NBA games. You rarely see one team lead the entire game. It's going to swing. This is why in-game betting was invented. So I took +3, and I had 6.5 on the other side. So we were basically flat there. Then I told you to take a 2-leg Moneyline Parlay for Bradley and UC Irvine. That was basically between, even money and -105. That cashed, and so we wound up 2-1. So most people on the Discord channel last night, they were profitable. For me, officially, fine. I lost officially 1.1 units, but I didn't lose. Those of us on the Discord channel didn't lose. So how do you join it? It's really easy. bettingpros.com/chat. If you put that into your browser and it says it doesn't work, that's because you've been on the Discord channel and we kicked you out. Why? I don't know why, but don't ask me. Matt, can you get me back in? No, I can't get you back in. Whatever you did got yourself tossed. There are 60,000 people on our Discord channel. 60,000. Why you get tossed? I have no idea. We have so many admins on there. If you say something stupid, if you do something stupid, you deserve to be tossed. End of story. But if you haven't been on there before, it's pretty simple, pretty easy. bettingpros.com/chat. Come on in and I can give you advice. I don't tell you everything I'm going to play, but I tell you a lot of the things that I'm going to play. Additionally, this is the week to use the code JUICE. Download the BettingPros app. Use the code JUICE. Get a 7-day free trial of BettingPros Premium. Why? Do all the research that your heart can desire. Picks, plays, trends, systems, all sorts of good stuff is all available, plus expert picks. Not just my plays, but other experts' plays for Betting Pros. Some people might get hot. I haven't been one of them, so maybe if you fade me and take somebody else, I don't care. Betting Pros app, iOS or Google Play. Download it. It's free. Then go to the upgrade page on the app. Enter the code JUICE, and you will get a 7-day free trial, and that takes you directly through the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. That means you get 16 games today, 16 games tomorrow, 8 games on Saturday, and 8 games on Sunday. Pretty darn good if you ask me. You'll also get games next week in the NIT. You'll get games in the CBI. You'll get NBA. You'll get NHL. All there on the Betting Pros Premium app. So go check it out. Use the code JUICE. Download it today. If you are listening to this first thing in the morning on the East Coast, West Coast people, you're going to have a tough time with this. But if you're listening to this right away in the morning or maybe overnight, the Pick 'em Contest presented by FanDuel is still alive. Take your bracket knowledge to the next level with the brand new NCAA Tournament Pick 'em Contest sponsored by FanDuel. Pick your winners or make your predictions against the spread all tournament long for a chance to win up to $1,000 in FanDuel DFS credits, signed jerseys, and free annual BettingPros subscriptions. The best part of all of this, it is completely free. Enter now at bettingpros.com/contests. Okay, you have 3 bets already. Arkansas plus 5.5. UC San Diego plus 3. And St. John's minus 17.5. Those are the 3 plays I gave you already for Thursday. If you want the breakdown, go back and listen to a previous Daily Juice episode, and it will tell you why I am taking those 3 plays. I have 2 bets to add to our docket here for today on a Thursday. There will be 5 bets overall going here today. Let's start with Drake in Missouri. If you are an OG, if you are somebody who has been listening to the Daily Juice podcast for a long time, you know how I feel about Drake. I have been a close supporter, watcher, observer, whatever you want to call it, of the Missouri Valley Conference and Drake for a while. Didn't do great betting the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, but we got Bradley last night. We got that right. And I bounced back a little bit at the end of the tournament with some 2-leg Moneyline parlays and whatnot. We made some money coming back on the tournament, but it is a Super Bowl game here for Drake. Northwest Missouri State. Ever heard of it? That's where Ben McCollum was. Ben McCollum brought 4 players from Northwest Missouri State with him to Drake. 3 of those players played on 2 national championship games, or teams rather, for Northwest Missouri State. This is a huge opportunity for kids from this part of the country to play an SEC team, but more importantly, to play Mizzou. Kansas and Missouri and Kansas State. Drake already took down K-State this year. Now it's Missouri. Can Drake win the game outright? Maybe. Can we take the 6.5 points? You better believe we're taking the 6.5 points for the Drake Bulldogs, okay? This Drake team, my only concern with Drake, literally my only concern, is that Ben McCollum's name is being tossed around for multiple jobs. And that's pretty scary. I mean, look, just yesterday we saw McNeese State lose their head coach. More on that in a second, but that's brutal. You lose your head coach the day before the NCAA tournament. Talk about distractions. So you have Ben McCollum being eyed for the Iowa opening. And most likely he's going to get the Iowa opening. And he deserves to get the Iowa opening. But Drake has been an awesome story. They were catching 1.5 points in Kansas City against Kansas State, and they beat them outright. We were on them. Remember? Again, OG Daily Juice people, you know how we feel about Drake. In the preseason, or the non-conference, they beat Miami, Florida Atlantic, and they beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt beat Missouri this year. Now, it was, they ended up beating them on the road at home. Vandy did. Beat them by 4. Missouri was favored by 2 in that game. Wins over Kansas State and Vanderbilt do not go unnoticed in college basketball when you play in the Missouri Valley. The biggest concern I've got with this is the rebounding and the size discrepancy between Drake and Missouri State. The smallest starter for Missouri is 6'3". Drake is not a large team. They're pretty small. And Missouri is going to have a really big opportunity to rebound misses and make life pretty difficult on Drake. It's 6'7", 6'8". Those are the tallest players right now for Drake. But they hang their hat on their defense. And they are 364th in pace of play. They are going to grind this game to a halt. If you want to bet the under in this game, I don't mind it. Missouri's 121st in tempo, so it's not like they're going to play really crazy up-tempo. But Missouri ended the year with just 2 wins dating back to the 22nd of February. Losses to Arkansas, Vandy, Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Florida. Their only wins were against South Carolina and Mississippi State, 2 teams that I don't love. I don't love Mississippi State. They're in the field. Don't love them. And South Carolina was one of the 2 teams in the SEC not to make the NCAA tournament. Number is 6.5. KenPom has it as a 6-point win, so we have a little 0.5 point of value there between the 2. But for Drake, it's going to come down to whether or not they can control the rebounds and whether or not they cannot get killed on the offensive and defensive glasses. If they can just be somewhat close to flat in the rebounding department, they can win the game outright. This game is in Wichita, okay? Missouri's going to have so many fans there. Like, this is going to be a really difficult environment. And we saw what happened last night with Texas when they started to melt and what the Xavier crowd did. It turned into a pretty big factor, a bigger factor than I actually thought it was going to be, because I thought Texas had enough to hang on to that double-digit lead, and they couldn't. So just some bad breaks for them and just missed layups, I thought, shots they should have hit and they didn't hit, but lost the game. End of the game was kind of weird. Why they didn't foul earlier, and it was a very strange situation. To lose that game by 6 was weird. But Drake is 44th in defensive efficiency. They turned the basketball over. They are great with their hands and steals. They're 10th in turnover percentage. They're not great with effective field goal percentage. They're 228th. 18th for Missouri. That's a pretty big difference. That's a problem. For Drake offensively, though, they're 75th in efficiency. They're 58th in effective field goal percentage. They do turn the basketball over a little bit too much for my liking, to be quite honest, but 3-point shooting, they're 112th, and 2-point shooting, Drake is 54.6, 56% in the country. They got to hit their free throws, and they got to create doubt in Missouri's mind. As I said, Missouri ended the year playing really poorly, losing 5 of their last 7 games. In the non-conference, they lost to Memphis. They lost to Illinois. They didn't play an outstanding non-conference, but they did beat Kansas. Everyone's beating Kansas because it's Kansas. But I think Drake's live here. My only worry is the Ben McCollum stuff. That's my only concern here when it comes to this. But I think if they can slow them down, if they can make Missouri play their brand of basketball and, again, put some doubt into their brains, Drake's going to be right there. I'll take the points. Drake plus 6.5 for 1.1 units. I cannot wait to watch this game. It's going to be so much fun to watch this thing. And I really hope 4:35 Pacific, 7:35 Eastern in Wichita. It's going to be an awesome environment. And look, Texas Tech and NC Wilmington play in the night game there for the second session. It's going to be all Missouri. It's going to be a really tough environment for Drake. They're going to need to make sure that they're in that game and keep that crowd quiet because it's going to be hard for them. So number open at 6.5, hasn't moved. I think there's action on both sides. Again, you have plus 6.5. If Drake gets up by 10, take Missouri. Try to middle it. These games are going to be tight. These games are going to have big swings. I'm doing that for Georgia and Gonzaga in the same region, the same pod in Wichita. I'm not betting it but I will bet that in game. I want to see. I like Georgia plus 6.5. I'm inclined to take Georgia at plus 6.5, but I might get better points. If the Zags get off to a good start, I might get better points out of that. And look, I mean, 151.5 was the opening number. The first move was the under 150. That game might go under. We might get off to a really fast start. If that gets to 160, 165, I'm going to live bet that under. So that's a game I'm going to live bet. The Creighton-Louisville game is a game I'm going to live bet for sure. If Arkansas gets off to a really fast start, we got Arkansas plus 5.5. I'll come in and take Kansas now plus 4, plus 5, somewhere in that range. So live betting, taking a position pre and then live betting off of it. That's why the record is I'm not worried about the record here. I'm worried about the bottom line, making money. Okay. I want to make you guys money. I want to be profitable at the end. Officially, we're down 1.1 units. Okay. We're what, 1-2, but I'm not. Okay. Live betting last night or 2 nights ago, live betting last night, live bet. Okay. In the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. One more play to give you guys here. I'm going to do a 2-leg Moneyline Parlay. As I mentioned, McNeese State lost their coach in Will Wade. Okay? I can't believe it. On the eve of them playing in the NCAA Tournament, Clemson gets the gift of gifts. This number has raced out to 7.5. Okay? I got it a little earlier when it was around 5.5 or 6, but Clemson Moneyline parlayed with UCLA up against Utah State. Look, the Mountain West has really been ugly, and Utah State is going to, they're not one of the, I like Colorado State out of the Mountain West. I like San Diego State out of the Mountain West. I don't like Utah State out of the Mountain West. I didn't like Boise to get into the tournament either out of the Mountain West. And now I know they were 11-5 straight up away from home, so that's one of those like hang your hat on it. But the schedule for Utah State stinks. They played nobody. Like nobody. They beat Iowa in the non-conference. UCLA's schedule is so much more difficult in terms of the teams that they face. They played North Carolina. They lost by 2. They played, really tough Big Ten teams, obviously. They played Oregon. They played Michigan. They played Michigan State. They played Ohio State. They played Wisconsin. UCLA just played a much more difficult brand of basketball in a more difficult conference. I don't need them to cover. Just need them to win the game, and I think they're going to win the game. I think they're going to beat Utah State. And again, I don't need to lay the 5.5 points with UCLA. I'm just doing a money line. It's -120. UCLA money line, Clemson money line for 1.2 units. Okay, so our 5 plays overall for us here on Thursday: Arkansas +5.5, UC San Diego +3. St. John's -17.5. Those numbers are mostly gone because we bet them at the open. Drake +6.5. That number hasn't moved. That was the opener. And Clemson, UCLA, Moneyline Parlay at -120 for 1.2 units. Those are our day one NCAA Tournament March Madness plays here for us. Now, if you want a hockey 2-leg Moneyline Parlay, I will put one in the Discord channel. When? I'm not sure. I might go to the Bruins game. The Bruins are playing at the Knights tonight here in Vegas, so I might go to that after having a crazy day. I might end up going to the hockey game. So I go to the hockey game. I'll probably be involved with that in some form or fashion, but I'm going to have a 2-leg Moneyline Parlay going for the hockey slate today. So in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat, I will be going in there and probably dropping one of those in there like I did yesterday with the UC Irvine and Bradley 2-leg Moneyline Parlay. I've hit 3 straight days in a row. I have put that into the Discord channel, either officially or unofficially. We've hit that 3 straight days with a 2-leg Moneyline Parlay. I'll have another one going for hockey. We've got one going officially for the NCAA Tournament, but I'll have one for hockey in the NHL because a big slate of good games coming up in the NHL. I'll give that to you guys in the Discord channel coming up later on today, bettingpros.com/chat. My name is Matt Perrault. Enjoy the madness. Pace yourself, everybody. Day one, let's get it on. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me and follow along in all the madness at Sports Talk Matt every single morning. Wherever you guys get your podcasts, it is the Daily Juice.